anyone was wondering about Fitech TPI, I've had it on my 88 Firebird, the 350 tune port, for I don't know, about 6 months now. And if anyone is curious whether or not it works, well, I guess I can answer that question. Damn car keys. The answer is yes. You see, most of my gauges work. My car idles kind of high because my TPS sensor is old, like 40 years old. Now, 36 years old. My speedometer works. The only gauge that doesn't work is my temp gauge, and that's because it's not wired up and I just don't have the time to mess with it. And my car does surge at idle, but once you put it in drive, it stops surging. But I think that has to do with the TPS sensor. But everything's just kind of jerry-rigged together right now because I used a lot of stuff that came with the car when I bought it, like that throttle cable that came with the car, and I just made it work. But if you see my other videos, car is drivable. But how did I get all my gauges to work? Well, I kept the stock computer. That's still wired up. I just did a bare bones minimal setup on the Fitech TPI and got the car to start that way. And honestly, if you have one of these cars and you still have the stock computer and you don't want to get into the dashboard and rewire anything and do any figuring out, that's probably your best bet. But I have that 4-pin connector that comes from the TPI wiring harness. It goes to the 700R4 transmission. That's actually plugged into the transmission, but the VSS sensor, the VSS wiring harness, is just tucked in there haphazardly. And I have no plans of connecting it because it doesn't fit. It's the wrong connector. So that's fine because that just allows the stock computer to make the stock gauge work. So I don't care. But overall, it's not perfect, but it got my car to run. Because originally it didn't run because some other electrical gremlins were going on with it. But so far, I do not have the fan hooked up yet. I have it wired in, but I need to put in a relay. But I don't know if you can see it. Some boogered up wiring down there. That's what happens when idiots own cars before you. A lot of the wiring in this car is kind of icky because this car was a rat's nest at one point. But those are the really cheap eBay long tube headers. They fit. Those weren't that hard to put in. This side was easy to do. I didn't even have to. think I had the car on jack stands, but that one I was able to just unhook all spark plug wires, unhook the old shit, just kind of tap it in there with a mallet, and then it fell down in there and then bolted it up. This side was a different story. This one I had to take the starter motor off and let it dangle, and I had to shove it down in there, get underneath the car, shove the starter motor back up while holding the header at the same time, get the starter motor started and get it bolted down, and then pull the header back up and bolt it down. That was fun. But how's it drive? It drives pretty good. And a warning for anybody who has this kit: do not ever let your battery die and then try to start it. That computer will wipe itself, and it will make every setting in the handheld 0, and the car won't start. And then you'll have to go get on your computer, basically download a recovery file, and you got to basically clear out your handheld, put the new file in, come out here, reflash it, and if you had any adjustments that you made, they're all gone. You have to start over on your tuning. Like, I have 42 pound injectors that are just cheap eBay injectors, which, yes, they do work. Does it run kind of rich? Probably. But I got to run. That was my goal. This was a inexpensive project that I bought, and I didn't plan on spending a lot of money on it. But, well, as you can see, it's kind of a ratty piece of shit. You got American racing wheels in the front, which are rip-offs. And then I have original centerline wheels in the back, which are the real thing. And copies. Wheels came free with the car. I'm not complaining. But pretty much everything will work on the car, you know, as long as you keep it hooked up and keep the original computer hooked up. Because I wasn't about to spend hours upon hours trying to figure out how to get all the gauges to work with the TPI standalone. It just wasn't worth my time. Other people might like messing with wiring. I don't. I like everything just plug and play, and I like it to work. And all I care about is being able to see how fast I'm going, you know, how many RPMs I got. You know, I want to be able to see the RPMs go up and down, you know, just the basics. I want my gas gauge to work. That's all I really care about. The handheld, on the other hand, you can plug that up. Just don't leave it plugged in. It will drain your battery. Mine's not even plugged in. I should have done that for the video, but I'm also a filthy peasant with like 60-something subscribers, so I don't care. I'm a nobody. And if you go to dashboard, just the first option, it's going to show nothing right now because it's not turned on, but you can see your coolant temp, so I don't care if that doesn't work. All the other gauges, my oil pressure gauge works, voltage works, gas gauge, tach works, speedometer works, odometer works. That's the only gauge that doesn't work. I don't care. If you want to wire it in and fix it, that's up to you. That's your right. You do what the hell you want with your car. But I have it right there. And no, I don't have a stereo. I'll have one eventually. But yeah, this guy, do not let your battery die. Everything in here in your tuning will become zeros and your car won't start. And then doesn't matter how many times you try to reflash your PCM with your handheld, it will not work. It will immediately just wipe it back to zeros again. You have to basically take this into your house, pick up the computer, and I believe it allows you to open up as a storage media. And then you can get the file, and then you just drag and drop it in here. I think you have to delete the old file out of it because it basically works like a flash drive on your computer. Delete the old file, drag and drop the new file in, and then you can come outside, hook it up, and then reflash it. Which I do not remember how to do it. I am not going to mess with it. So is it worth it? Sure. It works. You know, is it the best? Probably not. I mean, I'm sure a Holly setup probably would be better, but how much does that cost? And it's supposed to be boost ready though, so it's supposed to do everything the Holly does, but you know, the thing is, a lot of tuners won't touch the Fitech. Tuners will touch your Holly, but they won't touch your Fitech because they got a bad rap for whatever reasons, probably because of idiots adjusting them and not knowing what the hell they're doing and messing their stuff up. But yeah, that's all I got for you on that one.